Episode 1457. Welcome, welcome. This is Blind Magic in Alice Springs, and I am your presenter and host, Murray Stewart. In fact, I'm not in Alice Springs today, I'm in Melbourne. I think it was during one of the last episodes, I spoke to you about the fact that I had tested positive for bowel cancer in the as a part of the process that is the National Bowel Cancer Screening Test. And yes, I got a positive, folks. Now, one of the major selling points of getting involved with this program, in other words, offering up samples, is that if you do get an early result, your chances of survival are very good. But that's only a part of the situation, folks, because once you do get a positive early result, you do need then to get on the front foot in order to find out whether or not the positive was caused through other means, perhaps even a false positive. But the way to do that is you need to consult with a GI, a gastroenterologist, in my case. So the next part of the story can be rapidly got on with. But if you're in remote Australia, like I am in Alice Springs, that often takes time, too much time in my book. Yes, it was going to take 5 weeks before I could even get a consult with a GI. So what did I do? Well, I'm a very, very lucky man, folks, an extremely lucky man. Because one of my friends in Melbourne is reported to be the best GI, gastroenterologist in Australia. So my support worker just happened to throw my way the notion of pulling those strings and see what I could do. And so I did. And yes, later on this week, not only will have I had the consult, but I will also then be delivered the procedure that will determine one way or another whether the positive was a false positive or otherwise. And so I jumped in and we both said yes. I have said yes to going to Melbourne, and my friend Dr. Luke has said yes to doing the procedure. This brings everything rapidly forward, which is a good thing, because if there is cancer, then we can get on with it. We can get on with resolving the issue or the treatment required ASAP, which is the best thing if you want a good outcome. Yeah, get on with it. And so that's exactly what I have chosen, rather than sitting around waiting in Alice Springs, not being able to sleep, etc., etc. And if you're in that position and you are in remote Australia, you may not be as lucky as me to have friends who are medical professionals in the field of which you need to consult with, but consider going private anyway. Bring everything forward, and therefore putting your mind at rest. My mind is not totally at rest. Of course it's not, because the procedure's not until this coming Friday. But at least I now am in the position whereby I can move this forward, and I'm hoping for a false positive, and if it is, then I can totally relax and know that maybe I've got another 20, 30 or more years on this planet without the hindrance of having to go through treatment after treatment to deal with a cancer. Yeah, let's find out, I say. Let's find out. And I say the same thing to you. If you're in exactly the same situation, find out, folks. Find out. Get on with resolving this one way or the other. And I know it's not easy, and yes, it's costly to have to, go interstate and get these things done, but it's your life we're talking about. It's your life. Anyway, while I'm down here, I'll get the chance to see the magnificent, the amazing, the absolutely sensational AC/DC, who are playing in Melbourne. In fact, their first concert was a couple of nights back, and the reviews have been nothing short of remarkable. So if the weather holds off, and because the concert is tomorrow, which is Sunday in Melbourne, if the weather holds off, it looks like I'm in for one hell of an experience, because the reviews from the first concert, as I said, have been simply amazing. Very, very loud, folks. Yes, they're saying that it's the loudest concert ever in Melbourne. And I know that radio stations even had a competition to see who was the furthest out from the MCG that heard the concert. And there were calls come into the radio station from as far away as Reservoir, which is some way out, I can tell you. It's the western suburbs of Melbourne, so wow, it must have been loud. And yet there were no complaints to the EP8. No complaints at all. Why would you complain? You were able to hear, free of charge, the best rock band in the world. Oh yeah, the amazing Angus Young and AC/DC. Heard for nothing. Why not? Why not, folks? Well, I'm not going to have that luxury. Already paid for, and I hope the rain holds off. But if it does, it looks like it's going to be loud, folks, and it looks like it's going to be one heck of an experience. And I'm so looking forward to it. They truly are a product that we can be very proud of. Formerly formed in Fremantle, in fact. And then they moved to Melbourne for a little while and started to get their act together, so to speak, in those sticky pubs of Melbourne. And then also in Sydney. In fact, in Sydney was where the name of the band came from. It was Malcolm and Angus, when they were doing a bit of a gig at a studio in Newtown in Sydney, where AC/DC was born. So ever since then, they have gone international all around the world. They've cracked it into every major market, including the US. And yes, they are arguably, right here, right now, the best rock band in the world. And you know something? I'm hearing that even young people went along to the concert the other night, and they absolutely loved AC/DC. I'm hearing that a young lady, a young 20-year-old, has not stopped playing AC/DC, keeps raving about them, and carload after carload of her friends are turning up to her house just to have more of what they heard the other night. Yeah, they simply cannot get enough. And that's great, isn't it? That's fantastic that a band that's been around since the 70s is now making a big deal with those, with young folk. I think that's wonderful. I think it's terrific. And you know why? Because what they're hearing is real music, not that computer stuff, real drums, real guitars, the great Angus Young. Wow, how privileged are they, and how privileged are we all to be living in an era when the genius of Angus Young is doing his thing. And wow, I so hope that tomorrow night the concert does go ahead, because I think that I'm in for one hell of an experience. And I have been to their concerts previously, but it appears that they're like a red wine. They're getting better with age. If anything is to go by, that's exactly what is happening. They are simply perfecting their art, and maybe they're at their peak right now. So what a privilege it will be to be there tomorrow night, to witness the magnificent royalty of rock, AC/DC. Well, whatever you're doing this weekend, I hope you're enjoying it. This has been, and it always will be, episode 1457. Am I right, Heather?
That's right.
Wow. I'm on song, aren't I? I'm on song. That's it, folks.